Okay, today is November the 5th, 2020. And right now we're in the middle of a brazen coup attempt by the corrupt deep state slash Democrat machinery, which includes the mainstream media. Uh, on the evening of November the 3rd, we were watching the returns on Fox News, and we noticed that at about 10 p.m., several states just stopped counting. Those states just happened to be swing states that were out way ahead for President Trump in the vote count. Uh, we had Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania with 15%. We had a lead of about 15%. Pennsylvania, we had a lead of about 5% in Michigan. Wisconsin, we were ahead. North Carolina, we had a 1.4 or something, 1.2%. North Carolina, Georgia was ahead. Trump was ahead there. And then, of course, Arizona, which there's problems in Arizona as well. So all these states, except for Arizona, they just stopped counting. And magically overnight, I think it was Wisconsin and Michigan suddenly had a couple 100,000 votes dumped in their dumped off. And we don't know how that happened, who dropped them off, but apparently 0 votes were tallied for Trump overnight, but magically Biden got a whole lot of votes. That's all being investigated, but this is so corrupt, and this is happening in all these states as a result of the mail-in balloting, which should have never been allowed to happen. All of that was as a result of the fake COVID-19 epidemic, the fake pandemic, which to this day here in California, we only have a death tally of death percentage here in California of 0.045, roughly speaking, about 0.045% of the population of this state has died from that virus. We've had flu seasons in past years that were far worse than the deaths here in California. And as of now, only 4 states in the entire country have breached the 0.1% death percentages. And so there's a reason why the fake, corrupt mainstream media has not reported those death percentages in percent. They talk about, and I've mentioned this before, they talk about so many 100,000 or so many hundreds of deaths per 100,000 people, which is meaningless. Everybody that shops and is a bargain hunter, we all deal in percentages and so forth. It's just a given. So we're witnessing a brazen coup on the presidential election. And I think that it's time to call on the U.S. Marshals to sort everything out. The corruption is so bad and so pervasive in so many states that the results should just be nullified, and we just start over and vote again. The people deserve that. Certainly, they deserve that much. And we can't allow corrupt people to be running our elections. And also, when I say corruption, I'm talking about the mainstream media who are using the public airwaves to assist. They're complicit in this because they're basically on the side of Biden. They're calling Biden the winner. They're talking about transition teams, and nobody on the mainstream media has pointed out the fact that it's statistically impossible to have a couple 100,000 votes magically show up overnight, all in favor of one candidate. That's statistically impossible, mathematically impossible. Nobody's talking about that on the mainstream media. So this whole thing has gotten so corrupt that America is a banana republic at this point. The United States is a banana republic, and we should just have just re-vote, not a recount. Just start over. Everybody has to go to the polls and vote in person with an ID. You need an ID to do just about everything else. You can't, get on a plane without your ID. You can't get on a train without your ID. The list goes on and on. But yet, the most important thing, which is who's running our country and who's making laws, we got to start having IDs for voting. All right. So right now we're looking at the East Pacific. Here in Southern California, we have whiteout conditions. It should be raining. Right here we have a tropical storm, and this is Tropical Storm Odalis, which is spelled Odalys. All the moisture from this storm is blowing right up and into Southern California and Central California. So we should be having rain from this moisture field, tropical moisture field moving right into California. And if we look at the Doppler map, we see zero rain. Well, what does that mean? That means that specially equipped jets are up spraying the skies. There's zero rain, and we should be having plenty of rain right now. Let's go back to the map. You see that right there. This is Tropical Storm Odalis, and the entire, from Santa Barbara, actually from Big Sur all the way down to San Diego and into Mexico, Arizona should be having rain right now. So the mainstream media is complicit in this active, ongoing coup attempt by the deep state and the Democrats. That needs to be stopped. I think federal marshals need to be involved. There's a team trying to get into Pennsylvania, into the count rooms where they're counting these ballots to figure out what the hell is going on. Here we see Tropical Storm Odalis, 50 mile per hour sustained winds, 1,000 millibar pressure, moving west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. So this is just a short update. You can't get truth from the mainstream media. Biden is not ahead. Biden has been propped up. This man can't get 3 coherent sentences out in a row. It's statistically impossible that this guy is going to win the presidency, particularly with the 15% lead we had in Pennsylvania. And same with Michigan and Wisconsin. All of this is just unacceptably, it's so bad. The corruption is so obvious and so juvie in its delivery to the American people. That's stopping the vote count at 10 o'clock on our side here in the Pacific Coast. Stopping the count, not calling these states that had 80 or 90% of their votes tallied, and Trump was up by 5%, and they're not calling that for Trump. Come on. It's time. Things are going to get bad. And we can see already that the mainstream media is priming the pump for civil unrest. They're calling it, Biden's going to win it, and talking like this, and they're talking about transition teams and all that, the Biden transition team. This is all just nonsense. Biden didn't win this thing. Although the mainstream media is going to they're trying to have you believe that he won, but he didn't. This was stolen. And if you're watching the results on TV, we don't stop counting votes at 10 o'clock at night. That's never happened. Okay, that's enough. That's it.